Good morning, guys. I am sitting here making my first video I've ever posted for YouTube and anywhere else that might decide to post it, because I saw a lot of videos about Western Express when I came on board. And I thought a lot of it was just people just being grouchy and posting stuff just to be posting. So I was like, I went ahead and tried them out. I was told by somebody that I had went to school with that, they start off 50 cents a mile. So I was like, well, that's, you know, better than some, not better than all of them, but that's better than some. So I said I'll go ahead and give them a try. So came on board with Western Express, went through the orientation. They don't pay you for orientation, and they send you out with a trainer. My trainer was a joke, and so from that point, I went back to the terminal and I tested out, got my own tractor, and they told me I was good to go. So it took me a full day to get a tractor because they kept sending me out to the lot to go look at a tractor or what have you. Either the tractor wasn't there or they'd already given it to somebody else. So um, that was crazy to go out there twice, and the tractor they said was out there wasn't even on the lot. So I'm walking the whole lot trying to find it. Wasn't one out there. So um, finally, around 5 o'clock, I was able to get a tractor and get out on the road. Very first stop should have told me something, because I picked up a trailer, I headed out, and the next morning I received a message from my driver manager stating that I have the wrong trailer, that the trailer I was supposed to have is somewhere up in Jersey. Well, it's not the one that was on the Qualcomm, and that's not the one that was on the lot. But the lot one I got is the exact same number. So he says, well, it's the wrong one, I got to take it back. So I went back. And the guys at the Lowe's distribution said, no, that is the correct trailer. That's the one we brought there back in August, and that's the one we had to take. I've already taken off the lot that's going. So I ended up turning around going back to the same place I was going before, because that's where the trailer was going in the first place. So wasted almost a full day doing that, the back and forth with the same trailer. So that should have been a start. Then 2 days later, I dropped the load off at a little bit before 7 o'clock, and I was put in for another load, and I waited till 12 o'clock the next day, noontime, before I actually received another load. So they just said they'll give me $35 for the wait, but that doesn't compensate for the time I lost driving a load. So stuff like that has happened. There's been other stuff. I'm not getting to all of it right now. I'm sitting on the side of the road in West Virginia because the drop I dropped off last night, it was Friday, and they didn't have a trailer for me to pick up, an empty trailer. So I asked them if they could empty one of the mini Western Express trailers they had there. They said no, they can't. They're short on work or help, and they're going in order. If they don't have one, I just have to leave without one. And they wouldn't let me stay on the lot. They said, the only people allowed to stay there, because it was a Walmart distribution. Also, there's Walmart drivers, the only one that can stay on the lot. So I had to leave. Drove about two hours down the road, 90 something miles, to a truck stop, and I stayed there overnight. But before that, I called several times, because my driver manager, they got 4 o'clock Central Time in Tennessee. So I kept trying to call, send a message on Qualcomm, getting no support. I finally got somebody on the phone. I told him what was going on. I didn't have a trailer, and I had nowhere to go. He said, hold on, we'll get you a trailer. Never heard back from anybody. So then I drove to the truck stop, stayed there overnight. Got up this morning, had a message come through about 7:30, asked me, did I have a trailer yet? I said, no, I don't. I'm bobtailing. I'm heading back home. I'm supposed to have been home Friday. It's now Saturday. So this is where it gets nasty. He's like, well, we need to get you a trailer. Hold on. And then the next message came through a few minutes later. He said, for every mile that I drive home, toward home without a trailer, they're going to charge me the fuel charge. And from being up in Ohio to North Carolina, it's going to be several $100s. So they're going to charge me several $100s to drive back home when I'm supposed to be home anyway. But they have yet to send me a trailer. They have yet to send me a load. So I'm sitting on the side of the road waiting. And then I'm back to the pay. I was told by my recruiter $6.25 a week during training, and then after that it's 50 cents a mile. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. This is not what they tell you in orientation. This is not what your recruiter is gonna tell you, because they don't know. It's not $625 a week. The time you spend for orientation, you don't get paid. It's $2 for van. I mean, 2 hours for van, and sorry, been a long day. 2 days for van and 4 days for flatbed. So for that time, you don't get paid. And then they set you up with a trainer, and until your trainer gets there, you stay in the hotel. You're still not getting paid. At that point, you got the trainer. When you're out the trainer, you get paid $95 a day. It's $95.06 or 86, something like that. It's $95 and some change a day that you drive. Now, during my training, I was broke down on the side of the road with a flat tire for 14 hours because they use Goodyear, but Goodyear has to get approval from Western Express. And on a Thursday, middle of the day, it took them that long to get a response from Western Express. So we sat there 14 hours on the side of the road in Maryland. No food, no drink, no nothing, waiting for somebody to come and change our tire. So that happened. So that day I didn't get to drive. So not only did I not get paid, sat on the side of the road all day, didn't eat, didn't drink, nothing. So so it's $95 every day you drive. Now, you don't get 50 cents a mile for van unless you do at least 1,600 hours a week. And I know you're thinking, that's easy, right? You can do 500-600 miles a day. No, not when they make you sit at a freaking truck stop from 7 p.m. the night before till 12 noon the next day. And they sent me to New York City, where it took me 2.5 hours to go 2 miles. That's not exaggerating. I was stuck in New York City for that long. I wasn't supposed to go to New York City, but they sent me a load. I had to go drop it off in the Bronx. A little shop up there, but whatever. I did it. But spent that whole day up there doing that. And then, so there's been several delays. I went to one stop, and the one I just went to, I had 2 stops to pick up going to one spot. So the first place, they said I was there early, so I ended up waiting like an hour and a half where they could load me. The next stop, they couldn't even find an order for me. So I ended up waiting there 3 hours till they could find it. And then they loaded me, and then I headed out about 3.5 hours later. So you think 1,600 hours, yeah, that's easy. No, I've probably wasted 2 days this week with stuff with them that was out of my control. And now I'm being told that if I drive home, that they're going to charge me fuel, which is going to be more than I made this week. So back to the pay again before I forget this. So if anything over 1,600, you get 50 cents a mile, but it's not broken down by miles after that. If you do 1,600, miles, you get $800 that week. If you do, it goes up in 200 mile increments. You do 1,800, you get 9. You do 2,000, you get 1,000. So that's how that works. It doesn't go 50 cents a mile every mile over that amount. Now anything below 1,600, which is where I hit first week, because it took me a day to get a tractor and the whole thing with the trailer being wrong and going back and forth, all that stuff, I got just under 1,400 miles that week. That's in really 3.5 days. I was out there for 4.5, but because of everything that happened, that you get paid 34 cents a mile, which is lower than any of the other places I talked with before coming here. I think the lowest was like 37 cents a mile. I think that was I don't know, Swift or something like that. So the lowest I heard was 37 cents a mile. These people are paying 34 cents a mile unless you do 1,600. The only reason you don't hit 1,600 really is because of them. So that's the video I made. So I'm sitting on the side of the road on standby. Next truck stop is 40 minutes away, but in case they want me to go back the other direction or something, I don't want to waste that mileage, because they're talking about charging me for that. So yeah, guys, do your homework. I should have. I did my homework, but I just thought people were exaggerating. So be careful out there. But do your research, do your homework, and peace out.